Did you ever fool with the tabletop stuff from Warhammer?
I didn't mess with the tabletop stuff, but I would be lying to you if
Talk about a gateway
I said
drug.
my
There's
PP
something.
wasn't a little bit like, what's going on over there?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, dude. Every time I went to a hobby store and picked up like some Gundam snap together plastic model, and you see all those tabletop nerds over there, and you're like, what's that about, I wonder? Is that fun? Yeah, they look like they're having a good time.
Doing because you want to do it, but you know you're not. I'm not good. You guys are stupid.
I want to do it, but I also want to get one day.
Yeah.
So I should probably stay away from that
they're
table
just
over there.
minding their own business, and you're like 13 feet away in another aisle, and you're like, that looks gay. You're like, what? You're like, that doesn't look fun to me at all. And then you just start crying, and then they look down, and your pants are soaking wet, and you run away. That's relatable.
And they actually had way more fun than I did.
They
but,
did,
you know,
dude.
Sometimes you got to miss out on one thing for another.
Yeah. They got a good time. They got Warhammer.
Shoving little metal figurines up there.
Dang, yeah, that's pretty awesome, dude.
Hey, man, whatever.
That's my New Year's resolution.
See how many Warhammer dudes you
Yeah. How many figurines I can fit up there?
Well, hello and welcome to the first episode of 2025 of Grasstouchers, the show where the three of us pals talk about video games, how little time we have for them, but how excited we are about 2025 anyway. I am Jake.
I'm Jared.
And I'm Greg.
Well, let's get it off to a great start here in what will be, by the time anybody's listening to this, 2025. Jared, what up? What'd you finish 2024 out with?
I finished 2024 out with just a litany of petty theft charges, a felony.
Dang, dude, nice.
Are you talking about games?
I mean, we could talk about games. It's sort of that kind of a podcast. However, we could become, grass crime watcher, crime touchers.
Crime touchers. I think we
Go
had a
off.
couple of crime
Go
touchers
off,
at
King.
my school when I was a kid. They they don't have a podcast, but
Yeah, probably.
yeah. So that was not true. I didn't do anything illegal that I'm aware of, but if playing The Sims with your wife until 1 a.m. is illegal, then lock me up.
Oh, wow. That's a party animal right there. Wow.
But, yeah, so last night I saw my sister was playing The Sims 4 on her Xbox, so I was like, you know what? It's been a while. A game I used to play a lot of. I used to play The Sims a lot. I used to like those kinds of games.
I don't know if I knew that.
And, well, you know I've played a lot of Strange. I've dipped my balls in a few strange genres. But I turned that on because Gabby, her family is in building and architecture and interior design and all sorts of stuff, and they're very good at it. And she likes that kind of stuff. So I was like, sure, she'll probably enjoy this. And I'm like, she's kind of on her phone, and I'm like, all right, what should I name this guy, and we name the guy, and we go to the house building portion, and she just, is just awful under pressure. I mean, seriously, it took us, 25 minutes to put a door on the square thing that we put down, because she was choosing what
is
door.
She just
I'm
that,
serious.
Is she being that meticulous, or does she feel like
She's very meticulous.
people are watching me, I need to not mess it up?
She's very meticulous, and yeah, I think there's part of her that's is this gonna look gay? But I don't know. It was pretty funny. We were up very, very late. It took us 2.5 hours to get this little rinky-dink house built, but we did it. That was fun.
Nice. Quality time.
Yeah. Other than that, Halo 3, starting to get my old groove back, right?
Yeah.
That feels awesome. I've had some games where I've just gone way off.
Yeah, dude. Showing those kids how it's done.
It's just showing those kids how it's done. Just probably making some people uninstall the game. I don't know.
Yes.
Hopefully. That's been great. I tried playing Like a Dragon, the first one. I got a ways into it, and it just didn't do it for me. It's cool, but there's so much open-endedness in those games that I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I'm missing out on the game, but I'm too impatient.
Is that the one from just this year that was like took the world by storm really good, or is this the one before that?
I think this is the one before that. And
okay.
Yeah, I did hear a lot about that one too. That one's not on Game Pass. The earlier one is on Game Pass, and it is very fun. It is very good. It just, I seriously, it's a me problem. It's a not you, it's me.
Yeah.
I'm retarded. I'm too impatient to do all the side quests, but I am also too much of a completionist to not notice that I'm failing to do all those things.
Yes.
So I kind of put that one down, and then Marvel Rivals. I'm really trying with Marvel Rivals. My little brother was trying to get us to play it the other day, and we played it for a while.
I was curious how long you might stick with it. What's the latest on that one?
It is a fun game. It's a good game. It's a good base. If Overwatch didn't exist, I would probably be playing it all the time. But the problem is that Overwatch exists. It's a better game, and people will be like, "No, it's better." It's not better than Overwatch. You can complain about all the things and the ways. Read the reviews on Steam. It's like people are just like crying and pissing their little pants because they're like, they lied to us and are you kidding me? The battle pass and this and it's predatory and they and the skins are too, and it's like, it's a free game.
Yeah, it's literally free.
Suck my balls. It's a free game. How are you complaining about it this much?
Well, and Overwatch isn't the problem when there's tons of other games that are doing all those same things. Yes, we've all read the think pieces. We all know you're right. Capitalism bad, or whatever it is that you want to say about the free game monetization schemes. But like, get over yourself. Either like Overwatch or don't like Overwatch, and just say that's why. Overwatch. That's fine.
Just say you don't like the gameplay. Say I think the characters are boring, and I think that there's not enough white representation in it, and where's my
for example
skin? Where's my emote? You could say those types of things, but they don't. You could say that. You could, because this is America.
DLC dropping? I don't understand.
Oh man, can't wait for the DLC. But they don't. They're all complaining about things that are like, how much did you pay for the game? $0? Oh, okay. Yeah. Then shut up. Just stop playing it. Stop leaving bad reviews, because it's objectively a very fun game. Nobody's forcing you to pay money. Nobody's forcing you to buy the battle pass. Nobody's forcing you to buy skins. That's the thing that I've never understood. People are like, the skins are way too expensive. It's like, dude, you don't have to buy them. Have you ever thought about that? I mean,
imagine the complaint being those skins are too expensive. Like that's a ridiculous complaint. Yes, Greg, go ahead.
I had to buy the Gundam skin.
We know that. We know that.
Yes, dude.
And we applaud that decision. That's
right.
That was one of the biggest dick moves of 2024. So
me and Greg played the other night. I unlocked a luchador skin, so I was like Nacho Libre with him, and he was a Gundam. We both played heavy classes, and we kind of slapped, actually. We did pretty good.
It was fun.
Yeah, you guys slapped each other's butts, probably.
It's true, we did.
Dude. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. That sounds awesome. That really is sick. I just think that it's for an optional feature. If you're going to go in and complain that an optional feature, unless it changes the game, unless it's like, hey, you can't play as anybody but the worst character or something like that, then I'm like, this game sucks.
Then we have a problem.
They're complaining about optional things. It's just so stupid to me. So yeah, Marvel Rivals, it is fun. It can be fun, but it's just objectively not as good of a game as Overwatch is right now. And they wasted like 9 character slots. They have a huge roster, and people are like, nice. It's got this great big roster at launch, and you don't have to pay for anybody. There's no rotating carousel of free champs. Everyone's wide open.
Do you unlock them with in-game currency or something? Or
they're all unlocked.
Use any of them.
Every champion is unlocked. But the problem is, first of all, let's go problem number one. Problem number 1, okay? Wolverine sucks. He's terrible. That's my guy. That's who I want to play as.
You can't make Wolverine. Balls. You can't make a game that has a Wolverine in it and make him be bad.
Right.
That's horrible.
He's donkey balls. Okay, that's problem number 1.
What's real quick? What's the playstyle on Wolverine? Why is he bad?
Playstyle on Wolverine. He's a damage dealer, but obviously he's melee. Pretty much.
Right.
He's got a move that like you hit on like Xbox controller. You hit left bumper, and he like leaps, and anybody that he leaps into, he like grabs them and takes them with him, and then you have like a flurry of like slashes that you get to rip off. But the like hitbox is like really inconsistent. Like you don't always hit them when you expect to hit them when it feels right. Sometimes it's wrong. And when you do get somebody, you get all that barrage of slashes, but it's really hard to they move and then it's really hard to track them. That might be a touch of skill issue, but largely it's not that good of an ability. But you use that, and then his secondary ability, and the cooldown on that's like 15 seconds. And then the secondary ability is like cooldown of like 2 seconds, and he does this quick burst, this dash, and then like a strike, and it doesn't do very much damage, and it leaves you wide open if you miss. If you're not in range, you're just sitting there clawing at nothing, and you can't cancel that animation. It's like a whole thing. It's a quick animation, but it's supposed to like give you like a gap closer. It's like a gap closing move, and it just doesn't really work that well.
Jake's familiar with gap closing moves.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right. That was always his closing line. Was the gap closing line. So do you want to come over and watch? You want to come over and watch Shark Tales with me? You know it has Will Smith in it. From Wild Wild West. Maybe you're familiar.
iRobot.
iRobot. You ever see that one? How about Hitch? Wasn't he cool in that? Does it remind you of anybody? Maybe someone sitting in front of you right now? Hey, where'd that go?
James.
Where'd she go?
Where'd she go?
Buddy, she left about 5 minutes ago. I don't know. You've been talking to yourself for a long time now. So
Wolverine sucks.
Wolverine sucks. I got a problem with that. Buff Wolverine. # buff Wolverine. Problem 2.
Okay.
They wasted a lot of slots on characters that nobody cares about. I'm sorry. This is subjective maybe. Some people are like, no, I like Jeff the Shark. Well, guess what? I don't. I think he's gay.
Jeff, is that someone you made up just now?
No, it's a real character. Jeff the Shark. I believe it is from like Gwenpool canon, some kind of cartoon. This little shark guy. He sucks, dude. He sucks.
Oh my
He's stupid.
gosh.
You know who's not in the game? Okay, well I'm gonna go ahead and say Jeff the Shark. Luna Snow, who I think she's an original character to the game. Luna Snow, Mantis. There's more. The list goes on. There's more than
who's
that.
not in the game that should be?
Cyclops is not in the game. I'm a little biased. I'm an X-Men guy.
Here.
Cyclops is not in the game. Gambit is not in the game. Jean Grey is not in the game. Beast is not in the game. All these great X-Men are not in the game. And then you've got characters that would have just made more sense.
Right.
Dr. Octopus, Rhino. I don't even care. Put some actual mainline characters in the game. These characters are so lousy and boring. It seriously turns me off from the experience to see them out there. So I take issue with that. I think but the other issue though, if they had 12 characters at launch and I disagreed with 3 or 4 of them, I'd go, okay, this game in a year or 2 is going to have 24 characters and they're, you know what I mean? But they've already launched with like 30 characters. I know that they're not going to put everybody in the game that I want to be in the game because you can't balance a game. Well, you can, but it's going to be hard to balance a game that has 70 different characters in it.
Oh, paging Dr. Rainbow
Siege.
Six
Oh, gosh.
yes, dude. I feel the
Paging
same way.
Mozzie to the Pizza Ward. Am I right, guys?
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh,
So
man.
it's a fun game. It's worth checking out if you are into hero shooters and you genuinely don't like Overwatch. But if you like Overwatch and you know that it's a better game because it is, then just keep playing
Right.
Overwatch.
Right. Don't
Yeah.
get off the Overwatch train for that. Okay.
Don't get off the Overwatch train for that.
Duly noted, my man.
Yep. I think that's all I got. Dag, send it
All right.
directly into my butt cheek.
Well, I have been playing a little bit of Animal Well, which has been really fun.
Yeah.
I love it. It's very. Yeah, I'm a big sucker for Metroidvanias. And Animal Well is basically a Metroidvania without combat, right? And so it's very colorful and unique and beautiful and all sorts of layers
I heard a
to the game.
descriptor for that genre that we typically call Metroidvania. I heard an interesting descriptor for that genre: search action game. I thought that was interesting. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, pretty apt. Yeah, it's the more you play the game and the more you read about it and the more videos you watch, you realize that there are so many layers to the game, and to truly complete it is a pretty incredible task.
Right.
There's basically like 4 endings to the game. You know, the first ending you achieve after playing for 5 to 6 hours, and you beat the quote main story, and then more of the collectibles and things you unlock. You unlock more abilities to traverse the world, which you didn't even have in the mainline game. All the way to the point where there are secrets that had to be crowdsourced from the community to even unlock. Like, for example, there's one unlockable thing in the game that each person has. It's a puzzle. Right, it's a puzzle that's got 50 pieces, and each person playing the game only has one piece. So you have to go to like a community message board and like compare puzzle pieces to figure out this. Yeah, it's very cool, very cool. So yeah, Animal Well's cool. I have gotten to the point where I'm going to admit I have a problem, and my problem is I have too many games and haven't played enough of all of them, and so I am, and I'll talk about this when we talk about our New Year's resolutions, but my resolution this New Year is to beat every game in my Steam library without buying another one.
Wow.
A task.
And I don't
How many
mean
games do you have in your library that you...
I'll read them out.
as of this
I don't have
moment?
as many as you guys do, of course, but I'll read them out. And when I say beat, I don't mean 100% because that's not possible in 1 year, probably.
Right. It's not like the Elden Ring thing that you did necessarily. It's just like
Yes.
get to the end or get the picture.
Yes. I've been thinking of ways to do this, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it alphabetically. Because I have a feeling if I start with the games I really, really, really want to play, then I'll just get done with those and won't want to do the rest of them.
Right.
Let's see here. Library. Alphabetically, I'm going to read them really quick. Animal Well, Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon, Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered, and Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I got 3 Remastered. It was bundled with Odyssey on the fall sale. Baldur's Gate 3, Battlefield 2042, Bioshock Remastered, Bioshock 2, Bioshock 2 Remastered, Bioshock Infinite. That was all
You have to beat all of them, too. You can't beat just the remastered.
I'm going to do just the remaster ones. Borderlands 3, Cyberpunk 2077, Dark Souls 3, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring, Final Fantasy 8 Remastered, The Finals, Firewatch, God of War, Grand Theft Auto 5, Hades, Halo the Master Chief Collection, Helldivers 2. Oh, that was a fun time, guys. Hogwarts Legacy, Hollow Knight, Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition, Liza P. Marvel's Midnight Suns. I got that only because Jared mentioned it one time.
It's a fun game.
Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which I have to play.
Oh, buddy.
Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3 Master Collection. Mortal Kombat 11, NBA 2K24, PGA Tour 2K23, PUBG obviously, Red Dead Redemption 2, Sea of Stars, Sea of Thieves, Sekiro, Civ 6, Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor, Supermarket Together. Oh, that's game of the year right there, guys. Supermarket Together.
It's got to be, right? It's gotta be.
Hunter Call of the Wild, and then Rainbow Six Siege. That is my Steam library. So
And what's the number at the top there? How many is it?
58.
58.
Dude,
Okay,
you're
I
in
lost count.
deep doo-doo. Because before you said that, I was like, oh, I guess my Steam library is like huge and it's like bogged down with a bunch of like old free titles that I've gotten in like humble bundles.
Yeah, just
but
kinda
then you
garbage
just
stuff.
listed off, I think, every really long game I can think of.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, I had the same thought. There's like 4 of those games that you could spend the rest of the year on, depending on how you define the complete part, right? And then there's other games that I would argue you cannot finish. You can't really finish Civ, because any of the Civ games, although there are campaigns and like specific scenarios to finish, because the nuts and bolts of that game is like the multiplayer sort of like, 8 different empires vying for stuff. You could also say that about the multiplayer games, obviously the finals, whatever. But how many of those games have you already beaten? Obviously you've beaten things like Elden Ring or the Metal Gear games that you've already played in the past,
yeah, and
right?
some of these games I've beaten in the past and not recently. I have 100% of Elden Ring. I have not 100% of the DLC for Elden Ring. So when I get to that, I'm gonna finish the DLC. I have obviously beaten all the Halo games, but just not recently. I've beaten Final Fantasy VIII many times. So there's several things on here I have beaten. Let's see.
Yeah, maybe on those. I guess you could play those just for like a night and remind yourself, like, oh yeah, this game, and then move on. You don't. It's not like you got to go beat the dang thing again.
Yeah,
that's an undertaking, brother. I wish you the very best of luck, but we'll talk. We'll talk more about that throughout the year.
Dude,
sure.
Armored Core. You
Yeah.
definitely got to play Armored Core, man. That game is very good.
Well, and I played I bought it, and I played like the opening mission and tutorial, and it was so rad. But just Animal Well the past week. Played the finals with Jake, living my best Gundam life.
Yeah, dude.
And that's kind of it. What about you, Jake?
Real quick.
sorry.
I'm just going to toss something in there. Did I already bring up Secret Level?
Yes.
Briefly. Yeah.
Okay,
Did you watch more of it? Did you like finish it or?
No, I've watched the same amount that I watched last time, I think. But watch it; it's good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I saw an article that I breezed past it because I didn't want to spoil it in case I cared down the road. But somebody wrote an article about one of the episodes of Secret Level. Listener, if you recall, or if you're new, the Secret Level is an Amazon show that like every episode is a different video game, and it's like this whole thing. There's a episode about that failed game Concord. And the headline was like, watching the Concord episode of Secret Level is the most harrowing existential thing I've ever seen. Because it's like, hey, here's a lovingly crafted video game. What's that? You don't like it? Oh, sorry. Hey, here's an episode of television about that same game. It's like so funny. But I need to watch that. I, gentlemen, have been playing the finals. Even just like solo queuing, just to kind of play whatever class the other people aren't playing, and just kind of keep unlocking stuff. I unlocked a lock bolt launcher for the heavy class. Me and Greg both played heavies the other night. It was actually really fun. I'm finding that the the gunplay is like, I'm overthinking the gunplay so much, you guys, because I'm trying to make up for my like boomer freaking skill level. I feel like I cannot keep up, right? And the gunplay is hit scan, right? It's not like a projectile where you have to like lead the target, but I keep wanting to lead the target and sort of do the like battlefield thing because I've been trying to play all these different styles. I play up close, I get burned because melee weapons in that game are challenging to deal with. So then I'll, depending on the objective, I'll find like a rooftop where I can kind of poke at somebody with the M1 kind of thing that the light class has, and that's really fun. But those long shots, I'm like struggling to line them up. but still digging it and slowly unlocking things. And then I've played a lot of Hades. I have gotten to the final boss multiple times now, but I was reminded that after you finish the first health bar, there's just another one. And so I had this run where I was like, oh, I did it. And I like set my Steam Deck in my lap like I was about to kick back and watch the cutscene, baby. And then that health bar came back, and I was like, God. And that was a really good run, but I was on my last life, so to speak. You get there's an ability that you can unlock called Death Defiance, where when you would die, you get a half full health bar. And if you've upgraded your health bar, that's actually a reasonable amount of health to like get through the rest of a dungeon room. And so I didn't have any more uses of that left, and he creamed me. But I got one of the legendary perks, boons along the way, and that was the first one of those I had seen in this playthrough. So I just really like that game a lot. It's got deeper and deeper kind of levels to it. I think I've done 26 or 27 runs of it, and so I'm getting close. I can taste it. I think I'm almost there. And then I've been watching Squid Game 2, the second season of Squid Game. I don't know if you guys did. You watch the first one?
I never did.
The first season of Squid Game, you guys? Oh my gosh,
Squid.
So it was it was such a cultural touchstone. I feel like everybody and their mother was watching Squid Game when it first came out because it's pretty captivating stuff. Part of me is kind of rolling my eyes at the duality of man, sort of like lowbrow philosophical points that it makes because it's been done. But it's just so good. And it's a Korean show that has, great cinematography and all these great actors, most of whom you've never seen, but they're all crushing it, and the second season is not disappointing so far. I've been watching that on my own time there.
They don't speak Korean in it, do they?
They just do. I've got the dubs.
My Norm Macdonald
or sorry, the
bit
subs.
for the night. Sorry,
Oh man,
I'm stupid.
No, you're good. There was some other game that I was. What was I farting around with the other day? Oh, I was about to boot up Delta Force, and then it updated, and then I lost interest. And then, of course, Supermarket Together. You guys, I can't believe how much fun we had with that. Listener, please go to the YouTube channel and check it out. Me and Jared recorded our first sesh of Supermarket Together. It was a wonderful, low poly, free game, just time. And we opened up Fart Mart to the critical success of our
the supermarket
wannabe
critics are going
Chicago
crazy,
town.
dude.
Yeah, they said, Michelin star on the way for this supermarket.
Cheapest salt in town.
That's right. I had a movie I wanted to run by you guys. Robert Eggers, a pretty sweet director these days. Has come out with Nosferatu, a retelling of the Dracula story. Are you guys tracking this at all?
Yeah, I really want to see it. I really do.
I heard it was sexy, dude.
I can't wait to see how sexy they can make Dracula this time. I'm on track to watch that Friday with a buddy from work. I think we're gonna dip out of work early and just go freaking see a movie and jerk each other off. It's gonna be great.
That sounds like a great.
I thought that was our thing.
Yeah,
I know. I'm sorry.
You're breaking Doug's heart, dude.
I shouldn't have said anything. So I'm really looking forward to that. And my last bit, I'll go ahead and get into Grasstoucher moment. I'm gonna build an AR finally, an assault rifle. I've got some parts on a little deg sheet, as it were, and I've been doing like a good, better, best. Well, hey, let's take a look forward, ladies and gentlemen. I draw your attention to, I'll just keep sharing my screen, this list of games coming out. We don't have to go over every single one of them because I'm sure some of these are just going to go right over my head and I am never going to play in a million years. Games coming out in 2025. Off the top of your head, is there any that you guys are excited about?
Metroid Prime 4 I hope is going to be good.
Dude, yeah.
Ghost of Yotei. I still need to play Ghost of Tsushima, which is supposed to be amazing.
Yeah.
And Ghost of Yotei is a sequel to that game. Death Stranding 2. I never played the first one, but probably cool. Lunar Remastered. I used to like the Lunar games in the 90s, early 2000s. Metal Gear Solid Delta.
Is that like a JRPG? What is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Metal Gear Solid Delta is a remake in HD of Snake Eater, which is probably the most popular game in the series.
Okay.
Is that fair to say, Jared?
Metal Gear Solid. Yeah. It's the one that I think it's actually the one that's like most polarizing. There's people who like I hate this one, but
Yeah.
I think generally people think that one rocks hard because it was so. They kind of established the other ones as what they were, and then that one really subverted all of it, but in like a really cool, familiar way. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
There's also there's some things not on that list, Jake, that I'm excited about.
Yeah, I'm sure there are.
But like Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, which originally I think came out on Wii U, which I never had, and coming out for Switch, and should be cool. Civ 7 is coming out in February.
Oh my gosh, why is that not on this list? What a list.
I know Monster Hunter's not on there either. That one's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to a better
Wow,
article.
did you get this at the gay list store, dude?
I think I did.
Got him.
Freaking destroyed you.
So we have things
Sorry.
like GTA 6 and Metroid Prime 4 and Civ 7. Doom the Dark Ages. I think that could be interesting. I don't really know anything about the past several Doom games. I heard they're just a blast and a half, but I haven't actually touched any of them. Monster Hunter Wilds.
I'm going to go ahead and rename that one real quick.
Go ahead.
Doom the Dork Ages, dude. Listen, those games are great, whatever. But for sure, the people that want that game the most are some of society's most unliked individuals. I wish they made freaking the speed metal game in hell, but instead you're playing as King Arthur, dude. It's like that's the most.
A lot of katanas and long swords.
Right,
flying
the most
off
Mall
shelves.
Ninja game ever created.
Mall Ninja.
Wish
oh
I
my
could
gosh.
destroy these demons with my broadsword.
Greg, do you remember in the Greensboro Mall, the Four Seasons Mall, there was a store called like Jade Empire or something, which I realize is a BioWare game, but it was
Great
called,
game, dude.
It was called like Green Jade Dragon or something. It was the most like just on the nose ridiculous store that was full of like trinkets from like tea sets to Lucky Buddhas, but in the back they had rows and glass cases full of daggers and throwing knives and shurikens and katanas on the wall and just like it was a literal.
So basically, my bedroom when I was 12.
yeah, exactly. Here's a much more exhaustive list. Star Wars Jedi Power Battles.
Yeah, that's a remake of not a remake, it's just a re-release of the PS1 game.
Oh, gross. Ugh. Let that be in the past. Orcs Must Die. Some people like those. Marvel Spider-Man 2 sequel on the Spider-Man sequel on the PC. I like that. That's coming to PC. That's pretty cool.
Same thing with FF7 Rebirth coming to PC, which is great.
You guys ever frick with Sniper Elite? Those games are kind of cool.
Those were fun.
Another one of those coming out. I think the one that I actually played the most of was Sniper Elite 2, but a bunch of them after that were pretty much identical. It's like, how many different campaigns?
Why does it say Civ 7 continued to oppose Gandhi's 4X reign of terror?
So, the in joke there for the Civ heads in the audience is that Gandhi is one of the toughest opponents to go against and one of the strongest leaders. And he's remarkably happy to use nuclear weapons. For some reason in that game, he ended up being a very nuke-happy opponent. Assassin's Creed Shadows, if you want another Creed. We
don't. Spoiler. We don't. And nobody does because those games suck since the first one.
No, but the Mall Ninjas will love it, dude. Back to the Mall Ninjas. It's a good year to be a Mall Ninja, ladies and gentlemen. We got to say it. We got to get out there now. We got another Sekiro. We got all kinds of stuff going on.
Ooh, Suikoden.
Floor 3.
Suikoden remaster. That'll be cool.
Oh, a classic Konami remaster. Okay, cool. Last of Us Part 2 remaster. Didn't that just come out? How are we doing a remaster of a game that came out feels like yesterday? I know I'm wrong about that. Borderlands 4. So I have such a love-hate relationship with Borderlands because when I played Borderlands 2 in like early college, it was the dopest co-op freaking adventure like ever. And then they made one called Borderlands the pre-sequel, not nearly as good. And then Borderlands 3, Greg and I have played. It's pretty fun. I've played a few hours of that, but I didn't beat it. I'm interested to see how that will go. And, you know, they made that movie, the Borderlands movie. I heard it was just not good.
Oh, that's right. They did.
I don't
it was
think
terrible.
Yes. I don't think you could pay me to watch it, dude. It's like, ugh.
I love that they when people the exceptions that people will make for certain things like what's her name? I'm gonna look it up. Borderlands movie. She played Hela in that Thor movie. Kate Blanchett.
Oh, yeah.
Kate Blanchett's like a good actress, and like people are like, she must have been like at gunpoint the whole time when she was making this. The excuses that they'll give people for just like it just sucked. It's a bad movie. Like she's just as much of an idiot to be there as anybody else that's there.
Yes, exactly.
It's so annoying.
She doesn't get like a pass for being in bad movies.
Right.
She's
for
also
having
in
been
bad
in
movie.
good movies. Just because you want her to slap you and say that your dick is small doesn't mean
just
that
because you want Kate Blanchett to
Right.
stomp on you with high heels.
Stomp on your balls
Doesn't
with
mean-
high heels doesn't mean that she's exempt from being embarrassed from being in this movie.
That's right, dude.
She's like she must have been. They must have lied to her and told her that it was that Scorsese was directing or something.
Oh, Borderlands?
Right.
Oh, it's definitely
Right.
A Spike Jonze, award
Right.
winner. For
Quentin
sure.
Tarantino or Claptrap says the N-word 100 times. What is
that
cuff
also-
bust?
Cuff bust. Adorable prison break with friends.
Oh, I gotta look this up.
But is it?
I was gonna say there's some. I'm worried to search cuff bust on Steam because there's a certain prison game that we're all familiar with. Oh boy, this looks ridiculous.
You know what I thought about just earlier today when I was on my lunch break and killing some time? I want to hit play on Dune Awakening. I want to know if it's for me or not. I know that the MMO-averse is like not really our speed at our particular place in life. It's kind of our whole vibe, right? Freaking grass touching.
Sure.
But I thought it would be kind of neat to just be MMO pilled right now. I don't know if I'll actually be able to fully get on board, but
I have
just
that
love
urge
the
too.
idea of it.
I have that urge too. I saw that Final Fantasy game that I played for a little bit. It was like on sale the other day, and I was like I just imagine that feeling. Yeah. I like grinding. I do like grinding. I like
for the right game. Yeah,
yeah, it's fun. I like it, and I think maybe someday it's something that I can pull off.
Dude, I'm just because
I
the
can't
best
right now,
case
bro.
scenario like version of that is so sick, but every sort of like percentage point that it falls short of that is like exponentially having an effect on my lack of desire to play it.
If you won
if the three
lottery,
of us can make, yeah.
No, I have a question for you. Keep going. If you're continuing with
If
that
the
point.
three of us could make a little hideout out in the high desert of Arrakis and pool our resources and build ornithopters and collect spice and become moguls in our own minor house and have influence on the goings on, like, oh my gosh, that'd be so sick.
Yeah.
And you get to choose like a mentor in the beginning of the game. You get to choose like the Mentats, or you get to choose the Bene Gesserit, or you get to choose House Harkonnen, or you get to choose whatever. And it's like, that's pretty cool.
Wasn't Mentats a narcotic from the Fallout universe?
It is. How
Okay.
very astute of you. It's also a type of like person that has like superpowers from Dune. But I just think that if it were to go super well, it would be one of my favorite things to do with a PAL or 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But the MMO thing can rub me wrong so easily. But anyway, what were you going to say?
Did you? This wasn't what I was gonna say. I was gonna say if you win the lottery, and you like were like you win the lottery, and you're like I can quit my job like I can stay home with my kids all day, which means that automatically I'm going to have like 2 or 3 more hours to play games. Like truly.
Yes. Dude.
Like my kids are, even if you homeschool them, they're going to get like, hey, turn that back on. I was watching that. Even if you're homeschooling, there's a finals ad that I've been like blankly staring at for like the past 5 minutes on Jake's computer on his stream. Even if it's like homeschooling, you're going to get a bunch more time. What game would you go back to? Like MMOs? Is that what you'd go back to?
Oh gosh, if all of a sudden I was wildly unencumbered,
just wildly unencumbered, dude.
the minutia of life, and having to go to a job,
and you're not allowed to jack off.
Oh,
you got your
now
cut off too. That's the other part of this. I'm sorry, you won the lottery, but on the way to when you were putting in the ticket, you stepped on a landmine and blew your off. That's the only other caveat.
Now I've got even more time for video games.
That's what I'm saying.
If the moo were made of cheese, would you eat it?
Cool. Hi. I think that I would have to be on a steady rotation and have a varied diet.
Mass Effect.
In order to not go crazy. I think I would have to be single player pilled for a week or two at a time to like cleanse my mouth of anything I had encountered in the internet. You know what I mean? Here's an example. The other day, I was playing the finals because some part of me would go, oh, I think I'll just mainline some competitive game and I'll get super good at it, right?
Okay.
But I have a ceiling, dog, and I've approached that ceiling back in the day with Siege, and I just know
like a rage ceiling.
It's not a rage ceiling and a skill ceiling. Like I just know that I've got an upper limit. The other day I was playing the finals, and for what I think was the first time, I had teammates hit me up in the text chat telling me to uninstall the game and I'm trash and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, no, not my precious baby boy, the finals. Oh, no, this is the first time this happened. Do people care about the finals?
It was me in the team chat. Like, uninstall the game, you suck.
I haven't had, number one, I typically disable any, sort of chat. And the text chat that we use in the finals is only with your team. The other teams cannot see it. Yeah. And so I was like, oh, dang. And I was reminded that I've got a limit to what I am willing to put up with when playing with or against other people. So I think MMOs and like Sims, not the Sims, but like Elite Dangerous, Space Trucking, dude. Oh, if I won the lottery, you best believe I'm going to have a cockpit. I'm going to have one of those gamer chairs we talked about that one time where I can just
eastbound and down, loaded up and trucking.
Oh, loaded up and trucking, baby, in space.
Loaded up in space trucking.
Yes, dude.
Dude, yeah. That so
Star Citizen, if it worked, I would play that too.
Right. So the culture you think is like it would be too much for you to handle because
I think
that reminds me of something I saw yesterday on Reddit. I'm not on 4chan, but I'm on a subreddit called Green Text, which is.
Oh yeah.
So I'll read the screen text for you guys. From Anon, a day in the life of a pooner. Wake up, see my boobs, feel bad, turn on phone, browse 4chan, get bored of 4chan, browse Reddit, get bored of Reddit, watch TV, get bored of TV, watch hentai, jerk off, think about wanting to die, open computer, work on game, jerk off again, think about wanting to die more phone, more computer, get high, watch more hentai, jerk off, have profoundly retarded ideas for an hour, fall asleep, repeat. So, and a pooner, by the way, from what I've gathered, a pooner is 4chan for like a trans man. So,
oh yeah, like a troon.
A pre-op, right? Like a pre-op trans man. So, like, I get it because there is something scary about like becoming internet guy.
Yes.
And MMOs are kind of like intrinsically like
a gateway drug to being internet guy. Like,
they are because they're kind of like live. They're like a real time forums kind of. Like from our time, you go back and I'll look for something with my car and I'll go back to like a Subaru forum for like 2009. Yeah. And there's just guys in there being like pre 4chan 4chaners.
Yeah,
kind
dude.
of. Even though 4chan was probably around then, but
I think some MMO that gets its hooks in you is the portal through which
yes.
all internet people like proceed and
Right.
begin their journey. It's
Community.
becoming, yeah,
Community,
into
internet
becoming
community is probably the worst two words to ever been combined in the human language. That's what you get when you get internet community, is people who are watching hentai and in between, talking with, like, LARPing with people in their
while working on a game, which I can only assume is 2 or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Woof, buddy. I think it would be a very dangerous road to tread, and I would make a habit of freaking playing disc golf and that kind of stuff, dude. I would have to keep it between the lines if I won the lottery and didn't have to work
Real
anymore.
life
Oh
stuff.
my gosh.
Dude, did you guys watch that Dune show on HBO?
No, but I want to. Dag, did you watch it?
I did not. I want to also.
Okay.
It's like okay.
I still need to get
most of it.
HBO. I don't even have it. So.
It's like okay, dude. It's honestly like these HBO shows. They have become like they're very formulaic. It's like British, meaning one part British, one part like actors that you've seen in good movies but weren't the starring role in, and then another part just random naked sex scenes.
Yeah,
like
there
the
always
HBO
has
formula.
to be those on the HBO formula.
It just feels
You're
samey.
right.
It's not even that I'm like trying to be prudish as much as I'm just like, this is like if Game of Thrones was with a Dune rapper. And then
I think they realized a long time ago what sells on the HBO platform, and it's all of that. Reasonably well paid, reasonably talented actors, and a lot of titties and violence.
That's actually, folks. That wasn't Jake speaking. That was a recording from the pitch meeting.
I've got it right here.
Actors, a lot of titty.
Right here on my soundboard. Titties and violence.
It's good. It's very good.
Oh, man. Yeah. Well, have we done it? Did we get to the things? Resolutions. Any parting shots here about New Year's resolutions? How's 2025 going to go for us? I'll turn it to Dag because you mentioned the thing.
I have 2 New Year's resolutions. One, I like to lose some weight this New Year's.
Man.
Like to get healthy and get back to closer to a time in my life when I could go and do things and see the inside of a gym. Instead of the inside of a Dairy Queen, so that's
you got that. Cool. You got that Peloton tread right behind you.
I do. And so that's a goal. And then the other one is to play my Steam library and beat all the games, and like in general, just spend less money on games, especially if I'm not gonna like really sink my teeth into them and get my money's worth.
Here's your chance, man.
Yeah.
Make all the worth it.
Especially if you can make it work with the working out. If you had like a treadmill game or a bike game, whether it's on the Steam Deck or any other sort of format, I've seen people that they have like a home office that has a treadmill or a bike in it, and they'll hang up a TV. I'm not saying you should necessarily do this word for word, but they like have a hanging TV up in the corner. There's like a relatively cheap, like 50-inch just kind of TV. And then they have, whether it's a Steam Deck that they're doing, the docking solution, or an Xbox or like a whatever, and they'll sit there and have a controller in their hands while they're on the bike, and they'll just play, mindlessly play some game and burn some calories and like whatever. You might be able to fuse these two things together for the sake of the old time management there.
It's not a bad idea. I may literally look into that whenever we're done recording tonight.
My man.
But those are my 2. I think what both of those kind of tie into for me in general is just I saw this special that Jake and I used to love and watch a bunch of times. Ron White, A Little Unprofessional, and he says he asked Dr. Phil for advice, and Dr. Phil said, "Finish the things you start."
That's right.
And I think in general, I think both of those things kind of sum up. Finish the things I start, and those are kind of my goals. What about you guys?
Well, I just got to say, to finish the bit, Dr. Phil says, finish the things you start. And Ron White got home and saw a half-empty bottle of scotch on top of the fridge, and he thought, well, god dang, there it is.
That's what he's talking about.
That must be what he's talking about.
Or he walked in and saw it, paused halfway through the hentai he was watching.
Ron White, the in some alternate timeline, there's like a pooner version of Ron White, dude. Oh my gosh. There's a continuation of something I started a couple months ago. You guys may remember I was trying to bulk up a little bit, try to eat just a ridiculous amount of protein. I fell off of that just a little bit. I have still gained, just slower than I had originally planned. So I'm going to keep hitting that until I hit my goal weight of like 180, 185. And then I'm going to do a cut, and we'll see how that goes. So it's not really a new idea, but it's something I want to continue, try to stay on top of. And I have the ability to work out at work, and when it gets really cold, I can't go to the outdoor kind of setup like I want to. And so maybe I'll, if the gods should allow such a thing, if the weather cooperates, maybe I'll get back on that. I went and did it a couple times, and I really loved it. I just got to make time for it in my work schedule. Jared, what do you got? Anything? Do you do resolutions?
Yeah, some boring stuff, some boring personal business stuff. That is honestly not even worth mentioning, and I would prefer not to. Just out of, in the sake of anonymity, our massive listener base, I don't want anybody to dox me.
No, I understand. You got the different business goals and stuff. That's cool.
Yeah, but for the podcast, I would say like buy a Trans Am, buy a Chris Vector.
Oh, now you're talking my language.
100%. Every single video game on my Steam library, a 1-up deck, because he's just gonna beat all these down.
Just a 1-up deck.
Which I have a paltry 224 games on there, so I better get started. Actually, that means I'm going to have to be 100%ing a game.
Guys, I gotta go.
Like 1 day and a half on average. I think probably less. Less than a half tacked on the end there. So
I looked when Deg was looking, and I have 151 games in my Steam library. And like we said, some of them are like free. Especially there was one that was free, and like it was a free PvP third person like wannabe Gears of War Call of Duty transfusion sort of thing. It was absolutely horrible, but it was free, so I played it. There's some of those that like don't even count, or maybe even demos still. But yeah, I think you should. I think you should 1-up Dag. I think you should 100% everything and get every achievement in every game.
Every single achievement in every game.
Crown yourself the King Grasstoucher, although by definition you will most certainly not be a Grasstoucher.
Yeah, I guess that might disqualify me.
That's right. Don't do it. We'll have to kick you off the pod. Don't do that.
Don't do that, bro. Yeah. I'm looking at my library right now, and I have a bunch of old Warhammer 40K games. After watching the Warhammer episode of Secret Level, like, I don't know, man. I might be a Warhammer guy. Which is being a Warhammer 40K guy is like it's you're in the same family as Small Ninja guys who like want a medieval Doom game. So I mean, maybe I'm that guy. Maybe I'm projecting, dude.
Did you ever fool with the tabletop stuff from Warhammer?
I didn't mess with the tabletop stuff, but I would be lying to you if
talk about a gateway
I said
drug.
My PP wasn't a little bit like, what's going on over there?
Yes. You know what I mean? Yes, dude. Every time I went to a hobby store and picked up like some Gundam snap together plastic model, and you see all those tabletop nerds over there, and you're like, what's that about? I wonder. Is that fun? Yeah, they look like they're having a good time.
Doing because you want to do it, but you know you're not. Not good. You guys are stupid.
I want to do it, but I also want to get one day.
Yeah.
So I should probably stay away from that table over there.
Minding their own business, and you're like 13 feet away in another aisle, and you're like, that looks gay. You're like, what? You're like, that doesn't look fun to me at all. And then you just start crying, and then they look down, and your pants are soaking wet, and you run away. That's relatable.
And they actually had way more fun than I did.
They
but,
did, dude.
Sometimes you got to miss out on one thing for another.
Yeah, they got a good time. They got Warhammer.
Shoving little metal figurines up there.
Dang, yeah, that's pretty awesome, dude.
Hey man, whatever.
That's my New Year's resolution.
See how many Warhammer dudes you
Yeah, how many figurines I can fit up there? Oh man, I can't wait.
Oh man. Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us in the year 2025. It has been real in 2024. Thank you for listening. If you're new or if you're returning, we appreciate you. Hope you have a great start to your year. And until next time, don't forget to get out there and touch some grass.